Hello and welcome to Living Right with Chris. My name is Chris Iswekin, and I'm super excited to welcome you to this week's episode in our weekly series. For this week, we are going to be looking at the hidden reasons people conform. So, why do people conform? Why do people always want to conform? The truth is that people do not usually conform because they are weak. No, they conform because they are afraid. And there are several reasons why this is. There are several hidden reasons young people feel pressured to fit in. You know, um, and I'm going to be showing you some of these reasons, and we talk about them. The first reason is the fear of rejection. Nobody wants to feel excluded. In fact, I mentioned in the introduction that one of our human psychological needs is the need for acceptance. We want to be among, we want to be where things are happening, we want to feel like we, we belong to something greater than us. So, of course, we are built for community, we are built for relationship. So, you can now imagine that when you take someone away from a circle, it's like you're taking away fish from water. They can't survive. But the danger is that people cannot go all out to want to belong, even when that circle is detrimental to them. When that circle does not portray their values, they are ready to trade their values just to belong. And that is where we must check it. That while it is okay to belong to something greater than you, to be in a community, that community must share in our personal values. So, because of the need to belong, you can see that some people just want to get into any circle. And this has gotten many people into trouble because they found themselves in the wrong circle. Another reason why, people always are pressured to fit in is low self esteem. When people don't know their worth, they depend on others to define it for them. And that is that is crazy, right? Because no one can tell you your true worth if you do not understand your worth. They will underprice you. So you define who you are, you define your worth by your growth, and not allow someone else define who you are. Because self-esteem, low self-esteem, um, make people taking anything, good or bad, or even worse, just to feel that they have a relationship. And people are losing themselves because they want to get into certain kinds of relationship, or they want to get into certain circles, and then they trade their values and they lose themselves in the process. That is a no-no. That should not be. Another reason why people are pressured to fit in is the desire for popularity. Some compromise their values for attention and for approval. Why? So that people, they'll have fans, likes, and clicks. And it's been made worse by this era of social media, the era of likes and follows, right? And people can do anything. People who once shared great values, who once head on to great values, you see them going totally nude online to attract traffic to their page. And because of maybe to the need to have a fan base, or the need to have popularity, or the need for money, they lower their standards to fit in to what the world define as popularity, right? So it's real. It's happening with us. Another reason why people are pressured to fit in is loneliness. Some people are so lonely that anything that comes their way, they plug in. Anything goes. The need for connection can make people tolerate unhealthy environments, and this is not right because people have died being in the wrong circle, and they knew it ab initio, but they entered anyways because they have this need to be accepted, or they have low self-esteem, so they want to validate who they are. They want to get validated by others, or they want their worth to be determined by other people, by the circle with which they move with. All right, that is a no-no. Another reason why people always are pressured to fit in is the fear of missing out. You know, when some people are not in certain circles, they feel that that is where life is happening. Especially when they are portraying, when that circle, right, is portraying something else on social media, and they feel we are losing out, and they want to be there, they want to belong, and a lot of people have gotten into cultism, young people, just because of this need of not missing out. And the fact is that social media creates this anxiety in people that everyone else is enjoying life more than them. But here's the truth: fitting in temporarily can cost you long term or even a lifetime of peace and identity, where people have lost themselves trying to fit in, into the circles of others. So when you don't know who you are, the crowd will decide who you are. And it's a terrible thing to allow others decide who you are. You must define who you are. You must know your values. You must know your non-negotiables. These are what define who you are. So when you lose all of this in the need to, wanting to fit in, then you lose yourself. And when you lose yourself, you amount to nothing because society now dictates your worth, and it is not worth it, right? So this week, I want you to identify one area where you feel pressured to fit in. Is it in friends, social media, is it relationships, lifestyle, and what have you? The fact is that awareness is the beginning of freedom. I want to thank you for being here this week. I know that you've gained value. I want you to hit the subscribe button if you've not subscribed to this channel, and also send this link to your family and friends. Let them know that something's happening here, and I know that as they come, they'll thank you for bringing them here. I want to thank you again, and until next week, it is bye from me.